I thought at first that the engineer and his son had arrived before those intended guests, on account of some emergency, a flooding perhaps, given the weather. My husband let them stand at the end of the room for an uncomfortable length of time, then turned and shook his head, as if roused from some reverie by their appearance. "Gentlemen, forgive me. Join us. Take a seat." So they were indeed our guests, though quite how I was to be involved in a conversation about hydrology or the construction of bridges I had no idea. Now that I had the opportunity to see the two men at close quarters, as they walked towards us, it struck me how weak a family likeness they shared. The father was renowned. My husband had said on numerous occasions, without ever stooping to suggest that he shared this opinion, for the brilliance of his mind. There was something of the rodent about him, wiry, furtive, dishevelled. I don't think he'd been in this room before. Certainly he was taking careful note of its architecture and contents as they walked its length. I wondered idly if he were looking for an escape route, should one prove necessary. He was a good head shorter than his son, who could have carried his father under his arm as easily as a rolled tapestry. I doubt the son had ever needed to look for an escape route. I have known several young men of his kind, who mistook the goodwill generated by their handsome looks and radiant physical prowess for fundamental qualities of the world. They burnt brightly and briefly at court before crashing to earth, victims of intrigues and duplicities, of which they were utterly unaware, and against which they were powerless to fight. As they were taking their seats, the son turned to me and said, "It is good to see you. We were all greatly worried about your health." The inappropriateness of this direct address was so utterly guileless that my husband was caught off guard and forced to be gracious in return. "You are kind." I liked the boy immediately. Once we were seated, my husband waited for everyone to become still. "Gentlemen," the word sounded less respectful this time around. He lowered his voice and leant forward, with his elbows on his knees, as if we were in a tavern and about to play a round of cards. "My wife has given birth to a moon calf." The words struck me like a slap across the face. The appearance of the engineer and his son had sent my thoughts in another direction entirely, and my guard was down. I sat back in my chair and recited silently some lines of Sidney to calm my mind. "Come sleep, O sleep, the certain knot of peace, the baiting place of wit, the balm of woe, the poor man's wealth, the prisoner's release. It is a repellent chimera, part human, part ape, part God alone knows what. The child is a boy." I could not help myself. My husband turned to look at me. "His name is Paul." "We give names to dogs." He held my eye. "It means little." He turned to the engineer. "If it lives, it brings dishonour upon me and undermines my authority, as would the rumour that I had killed my own son. Sadly, my wife is sentimental, and will not allow it to pass away in its sleep." He filled the pause with an airy gesture, as if to show how clean his hands would be after some soulless factotum had done the murder on his behalf. "The child must live, and yet the child must not live." He looked into the fire. "I am told repeatedly that you are an ingenious man, that buildings, excavations, waterworks, canals are merely specific instances of your general genius. I am told that there is no problem you cannot solve." Rain lashed the glass. "So I would like you to solve this one for me." I do not believe that this was a genuine proposal. Rather, I believe my husband hated the idea of another man in his orbit being constantly touted as brilliant, and was pleased at having found a way of humiliating both him and me at the same time. Only later would I look back and realise that my husband had done something crueler still. The engineer and his son were in a